All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how all of these nations, but in particular Esau, right? How Esau likes to complain about the state of the Israelites, right? And then even these heathens, it can be extended onto the heathen as well. But I want to mainly talk about how Esau talks about the state of the Israelites and likes to mock us and make fun. And he would have a case to talk about us, right? If he wasn't the main person that helped the Israelites be in this situation, right? He can't mock the financial situation of our people. He can't mock the attitude and stuff that we have and certain of the things that we do when he's been the main one, right? That helped them be like that, right? He's been the main one. He had a part in it, right? He's not completely 100% guilty. The Israelites have did things their own self, but Esau has been the main one, always constantly being there to kick an Israelite while he's down, man. So he can't say anything. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10. For violence, for violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. So Esau, Esau helped the Israelites be destroyed in the past, right? But he also helped the Israelites be destroyed now, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. He's helped us be destroyed, man, through the Atlantic slave trade. And then every single other thing that they did after that. And they like to always say, oh, black people sold their own people into slavery. Who bought them? Who did they sell them to? Right? You can't complain about drugs being sold and you're the main customer, right? And that's even if we're to believe, which I don't. But if we're even to believe that it was other Israelites selling other Israelites into slavery, which it wasn't, it was Hamites, which is another so-called black nation, selling Israelites, which is another so-called black nation, but they're not the same people. Their skin tone's similar because most of the people on the earth's skin is brown anyway. It's not nothing special to have brown skin. That's just what people are supposed to have. That's just what the people are supposed to have on as their skin color, man. Brown, you know? That's just what people are supposed to have. Now, Salakia. Excuse me. Yeah, Esau likes to try and say all of these things and talk about how people sold people and all that, as if they never bought them. If someone's selling drugs in a particular area, but I'm buying the drugs, how can I then complain about people selling drugs? You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. If you know it's wrong, right, to be selling slaves and all that, then you shouldn't have done it then too. You shouldn't have done it too. And what's the selling of the people got to do with what you did to the people that were sold? What's that got to do with the book, The Delectable Negro, where Esau was a cannibal? What's that got to do with lynchings and genital castration? What's that got to do with book breaking? What's that got to do with which book breaking is a fancy way for saying homosexual grape? Because that's what it really was, right? Violent homosexuals graping heterosexual men. You understand? Heterosexual men that they own as slaves. Straight men that are their slaves. You understand? That's what it really was, man. The same kind of grimy things that Esau lets take place in these prison systems. That's the same kind of things that these Edomites were doing to their Israelite slaves during the Atlantic slave trade, man. That's the same things they were doing, man. That same kind of disgusting activity. But they try and put a fancy term on it, say book breaking, to try and hide and get away from what was actually taking place, man, which is what this world does in the first place anyway. They like to say things, right? But then people don't really like to talk about what's actually taking place, man. So people will promote an alphabet community, but they don't really sit back and really consider what they're actually saying should be allowed. If you actually really think about what these people do that are part of that alphabet community, it's disgusting. Verse 12, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Israel in the day of their destruction. But Esau didn't just do all of this. He's been the main one there, always taking part, man. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid their hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. And Esau stole a whole bunch of wealth from us. They like to try and talk about how we don't have this and we don't have that, and our neighborhoods are this and our neighborhoods are that. As if they ain't played a part in that. As if they don't know why that's happened, man. And that's where these people are going to have to pay, man. Verse 14, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those that didst escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. And this is going back way back. And you can find out more information about Esau being a part of the taking down of the Israelites when you read certain scriptures in Jeremiah, right? For one thing, Jeremiah was told to take loads of different yokes of iron and to put them in the hands of these other nations, roughly paraphrasing and going into the story, and tell them that Nebuchadnezzar has been chosen by Yahweh for this time to rule over the whole earth, and all you nations, if you bow down and you decide to follow after Nebuchadnezzar, you'll be able to stay in your own lands and do your own thing. And that during that time, it was only the Israelites really that didn't want to agree, right? And that's why Esau was there in that time, because Esau was one of the nations that was told this. And that's where Esau was even able to be there, to be around the Babylonian Empire to help take the Israelites down. And you can read it up if you think I'm lying. You can read it. That's the way that the story goes, man. That's one of the reasons why Esau was even there in the first place, man. Esau's always been there to try and kick our ass. Verse 15, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head, right? The days upon, and that's deep, because all these people try and make out like, oh man, the black people are this, the black people are that, as if they ain't taking advantage of the situation. They're not just seeing us leave. It's not like this world's just leaving us to our own devices and then just standing back and watching. No, you're helping. You're all helping take part in this, man. And part of the way how they've all helped take part in this is by not sharing information to these people about who they are. When you helped beat their nationality out of them in the Atlantic slave trade, and put a nationality on them that was nothing. You told them that their whole history was just being Africans swinging on trees. But then it's coming out that all of that's a lie. Psalm chapter 83 and verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They all decided to agree together. Let's make sure that these people don't never know who they are, man. They all did it. Yet these are the same people that want to try and mock us. But then if we look at their ways, are their ways better than our ways? Okay, everyone likes to mock how the Israelites lived when you go into the Bible, but have you Gentiles lived any better? Or was it because the Israelites decided to live like how Gentiles lived that always caused the Israelites to be living wickedly? And when is it that the Gentiles have ever lived like the Jews? When is it that the Gentiles have ever lived like the Israelites? When's that happened? That we can read about in the scriptures that they've ever followed them properly, better than the Israelites followed them. When? Because I know that the scriptures say in 2nd Ezra, the 1st chapter, that they didn't do that. Verse 4, they have said, come and let's cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So these people can't say nothing about the situation that we're in, man, because they're fighting over the land of Israel right now, and that's in the scriptures. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. So when the real Israelites have been taken out of the land, and now they're going around thinking that they're black, thinking that they're Mexican, thinking that they're Native American, people didn't say, you know what, let's leave that land vacant in the hopes that one day they return. They tried to steal the land, right? And it's not even like they said, you know what, the Canaanites used to live in this land. Let's bring the Canaanites back and make that land go back to them because it was their land first anyway. No, Esau said, you know, I'm going to live in the land. Forget the Canaanites. I'm going to live there. That's what he said. And it ain't no so-called black men with red hair that are over there doing that neither. We already know who it is over there doing it. But you got people that want to try and say that the Edomites are black men with red hair. That's stupid, man. How dumb of a doctrine can you make? You can't even find 100 people that are so-called black men with red hair to say that this is the Edomite nation. You can't even find that. That's ridiculous to come up with that kind of lie. You're a joker trying to come up with that. That's a joke. Verse 3. Prophesy therefore and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side. And that's what they've did. So they're steady there looking at black people. Oh man, the usual suspects. The usual suspects. We was Kangs. Oh, 13% people doing 13% things. Right? But look at your nation. Your nation is literally going around the world trying to be a savior for people that were doing the same kind of activity that Sodom and Gomorrah was doing. And they're just steady going all over the world talking about some fake freedom when they're trying to just make people do what they want them to do. They're trying to go around the world trying to force people to live like they live because that's what they like doing, man. And how do we know that that's like what they like doing? Because when they had complete control over another nation, these are the things that they was forcing upon men. You understand? When you've got complete control over people and you've got the ability to spew your mind and make it law, you get to see what somebody is like. So the people that are ruling this world right now don't want there to be no such thing as genders. They don't want there to be no such thing as age of consent. They don't want it to be no kind of, they want it to be everything goes. Just do it. Anything goes, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. That's what they want it to be. Anything goes apart from that Bible thing. Anything goes apart from being about righteousness. You can do anything you want, but you better not talk about the Bible because that's the one thing you can't do. Don't judge no one. But if someone's speaking about the Bible, you can judge them. That's what the people that are ruling the earth are on. Verse 4. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. In fact, let me go verse 3 again. Therefore, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are the infamy of the people. They love chatting about us, man. Every time. Any video you watch, a so-called black woman steals something. Oh man, blacks doing this, black, that, blackity, black, blackity, black, black. An Edomite woman stealing things. Oh man, she's a thief, she's a this, she's a that. But whenever it's one of us doing it, they've always got to put that attributing us to our nation thing. Every time. No matter what the crime is. Every time, man. We're the infamy of the people that love chatting about us, man. They love it. They can't get enough of it, man. Verse 4. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains and to the hills and to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. They've been taken over by heathens. It's not Israelites living in that land right now. It's not. I don't care what none of you people want to say. You ain't going to make us be shook to say that the people living in the land of Israel right now are not the ancient Israelites. They're not. I don't care if you want to say anti this or uncle that, cousin this, you know what I mean? Anti this, anti that. Don't care. I don't business. Those people in the land are not the Israelites, man. They're not. And if any of you people have got a problem with that, prove that they are. If any of you people out there want to try and say that your lineage, you can prove your lineage goes out to King David, prove it then. Show the list of names. Open up the books and show it, man. Because surely if you could prove that, you would. To just get all the talk out of the way. Prove it, man. And prove it on the father's side too. Don't come with none of that maternal madness. Prove it, man. Otherwise, shut the hell up, man. And also show where them hats came from. Show Moses wearing that. Show that in the Torah. I bet you can't do it. In fact, I know you can't do it, man. That's your own made up madness. That these clowns that claim to be about the Bible, they actually believe that foolishness. And if they see a so-called Englishman with one of them on his head, they'll be like, "Oh, I never knew you was an Israelite." But they'll say that J-wish business. Well, I never knew you was a... Because as if an outfit makes you that. People are ridiculous, man. Verse 5, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. They've deliberately went out of their way to try and make the Holy Land wicked. And when you look up that part, Tel Aviv, you can see that they're doing it, man. They're trying to make the land as wicked as they can, just to spite Yahweh and to spite the Israelites. Verse 6, the real ones. Verse 6, prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I have lifted up mine hand, surely the heathen that are round about shall bear their shame. Because people are going to keep talking about how they ain't supposed to be over there, man. And that's why they're trying to cut out people's speech now. Because it's coming out that they ain't who they say they are, man. And that they're wicked. So now they're having to write laws in to try and stop people talking, man. And they want to give people strikes on accounts and that. And they'll use a video that's not the real reason why they're giving it a strike. So they'll see a video like this, but they'll strike another video to try and make it like, see, it wasn't because of the thing that was really hurting my feelings why I gave you a strike. It was because of this video where there was too much swearing, or this video where you said something about women. No, it wasn't. It was because of this video where I was bunning y'all out and letting y'all know that you ain't really the people that you say you are, man, and you lying demons. That's what it really was. But we know already. Right now, I was going into how these people like to always talk about us and say all of these things, right? But they helped. Now, let's get this scripture, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 9. I have seen, let me highlight it. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 9. All this have I seen and applied mine heart to understand every work that is done under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. And Esau has done that to us. They've ruled over us to our own hurt, man. And now they don't even like the destroyed state that they was desiring to make the Israelites be in. Here it is when we were still somewhat more godly than we are now and had way more understanding that we are the people. Esau wasn't liking it. He beat the hell out of us and made sure we don't talk none of that. When we start reading the Bible for what it really was, he wasn't on that. He was on giving us a slave Bible with things taken out, man. But then now that the Israelites are on that, and now they're scoffing, right? Now they're not even wanting to believe they're an Israelite. They're saying, I'm black. I'm black. And I ain't that. You know the Bible's been changed. You know the Bible's been changed, though, innit? King James wrote the Bible. Why you man on that Bible thing, though, really, though, man? You know that's the white man's book. Okay? Now that they're saying all of that, and now that they're godless as hell, talking about they want their coochie scratched. They want their coochie stretched. right? Now that they're on running up in the stores, stealing, looting, which is things that you helped them to become like that. Now you got the nerve to complain, but you're gonna be blamed for how you helped them be like that. You ruled over another man to your own hurt. All the things that you've did to them to get them to that stage, you're gonna be held accountable for those things, man. Now, if it was up to you in your own mind, you wouldn't be. But it's not up to you. It's up to Yahweh. It's up to Yahweh, man. Because these Israelites was not supposed to ever become as wicked as they are like this, man. But you helped them be like that. So are you, and you are the person that was designed to get jacked up. So are you going to go altogether unpunished? No, you ain't. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and that thou he that shall altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. You're going to have to deal with what you did. You're going to have to, man. It don't matter if you want to cry. It doesn't matter if you want to say, oh, that's Old Testament and all of that. Listen, man. You're going to have to go for it, whether you like it or not. We didn't get to have any, you think we wouldn't have had excuses why we shouldn't go through the anti-slave trade? You think the next generation after that was born, that didn't do any of the same sins according to what the other previous generations didn't think in their mind, man, why are we in this situation? This is messed up, yo. You think they never thought that? But they still had to deal with it too. And the next generation after that, and the next generation after that, and the next one, and the next one. So you thinking that you don't have to go through nothing because you think you ain't guilty, you're guilty. You're all guilty, man. You've rejoiced over it. Like Obadiah, the book of Obadiah says you shouldn't have rejoiced over it. The book of Obadiah says you shouldn't have looked. But you people have rejoiced over it. You've got on comment boards laughing. We was kings. We was kings. Oh, 13% is, oh, the usual suspects. Oh, diversity is our number one ally. You know what I mean? You've got on there mocking. Ha ha ha. They're saying the Vikings is black. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. I didn't do nothing. We've seen all of it. I didn't do nothing and all that, getting on the comment board saying that, as if we can't find Edomites committing crimes, saying that they ain't did nothing. As if your own presidents and prime ministers don't say that they ain't did anything. You know what I mean? As if we can't find the top of your own people saying the same thing that you're trying to mock us for saying. You people are a joke, man. Verse 12, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and that thou he that shall go altogether unpunished. So are you going to be guiltless? No, you ain't. Thou shalt not go unpunished, meaning you are going to be punished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Yahweh is going to pour curses without any mixture right down your throat, man. And you're going to have to enjoy it. You're going to, whether you like the taste or not, ain't going to matter. You're going to have to taste it. Verse 13, for I have sworn by myself. So all you people in this world, you like to sometimes swear. Man, I swear, man. Yo, on my mom's life and all that. On my grandbabies and all that. You know what I mean? You people in this world like to swear all the time. Right? Even you Edomites. But Yahweh has did that on his own self. That Basra shall become a desolation. That's Edomite land. A reproach, a waste, and a curse. And all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste, man. Everywhere that Esau ever ruled, he's going to be destroyed, man. And that's why it's a joke that they try and mock us. And even all these other nations too. As if they didn't have a part in it, man. As if they didn't have no part to play in it. And I just wanted to do a video on that, man, because... And I'm going to make this other point as well. Let me see how long I've been going, man. I didn't want to really be... How do I see that? 24. I'll go a bit longer, man. Right? I'll go a bit longer. Like this world tries to talk, yeah, about the Israelites, about so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, as if we didn't exist, the world would just be peaceful. Right now, when you go to Second Esdras, the 3rd chapter, listen to what it says in verse 29. In fact, verse 28. I apologize. Are their deeds any better that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? And this was during the time when Isaiah Esdras was in Babylon, right? And he was looking at these heathen nations and he was seeing how they're wicked too. So why have they got us in captivity when they're wicked? We're being punished for following these ways, but we ain't even been following these ways as long as the people that have got us in captivity have. That's the kind of things that Ezra was having to understand and come to terms with, man. Okay, we're being punished for following these ways for 6 months, a year, 3 years. We're following it in secret, but these nations have been following it since they became a nation. So why are they getting power over us? When if we're wicked because we've been starting doing these ways because a couple of us or a lot of us have been corrupted into following these ways and we've been secretly following it for a year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5, a decade maybe. Okay, well, how much more wicked has this nation been that's been following these ways since their foundation? And these ways are their default settings, and never a point in their nation did they ever, as a like trajectory off from their nation, say, you know what, let's follow after the Israelite ways. That never happened. There was never a time when the Babylonians said, you know what, okay, we've been doing our own Babylonian thing, but now we're going to follow the Israelite way for a bit. We're going to follow them laws of Yahweh for a bit now, because the Israelites have stopped following it now. So now they're cursed. So now we're going to start following those ways and we're going to become the new Israelites. No, that's not happened. That can't happen. Neither did Esau do that too. They ended up saying the law's done away with. And that's why it's a joke when these people try and talk about the Israelites as if they've lived better. Verse 30. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning and hast spared evildoers. In fact, let me go verse 29. For when I came hither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in the 13th year, in the 30th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and has not signified it, which is what was happening. And that's been happening every single time the Israelites sin, man. It's not like these heathen nations started following the laws in order for the Israelites to become cursed because a heathen nation out there was keeping it better than us. See how it said, nah, man, you Israelites are going off. You got these heathen following the laws better than you are following them. No, it was that we started following their ways while they were still following their ways. It's not like the heathen ever stopped following their wicked ways because we were following their ways. They started following them. They stayed following them, and we started copying what they were doing, and ended up becoming their slaves. But the ways that we're being punished for following, the nation that was ruling over us had been doing that same wickedness way longer than we'd been doing it because that's their ways. And that's why you nations ain't got nothing to say. You can't say nothing to us, man. Verse 31, I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? And you can mention any nation in there. Are they then of the Hamites better than Zion? Are they then of Ammon or Moab or Japhet, Cush, any of them? Esau, are any of them better than Zion? No, they ain't. Or is there any other people that know of thee beside Israel? Or what generation of soul believe that covenant? Is there any nation out there, right, that's got a feast called the Passover? Is there some people on another planet somewhere that Yahweh, that Yahweh went out and did the things that he did for us? No, they ain't. Is there another nation on the earth somewhere that Yahweh did the same things for that he did for the Israelites? Is there? No, there isn't, man. They ain't no Israel 2.0. You know what I mean? There ain't no second house of Israel out there And Yahweh used us as the prototype, but now because we messed up, he's gave it onto some other people. That's a lie that you people made up, man. There ain't no other nation out there that when Yahweh was doing all the things that he did for the Israelites, that he made another nation and did things for them and gave them a Yahweh Shai. That don't exist. The lies of Christianity might try and make out like that's what's happened, but it isn't. Verse 32, is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel, or what generation of soul believe thy covenant, says Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. And if we was to go here and there through the heathen, we're going to see a whole bunch of sandals. We're going to see a whole bunch of suits and ties. We're going to see a whole bunch of plates in lips, stretched out ears. We're going to see people eating animals that are off. We're going to see tattoos. We're going to see HIJK lifestyles, right? Alphabeting, rainbowing, right? And we're going to see a whole bunch of other madness too. But we're not going to see these people being broke because of doing this. They're going to have wealth. They're going to have their own lands. They're going to have their own market. They're going to have their own economic system, man. Even though they're doing all this stuff. So why is it that when we do it, we're not wealthy? Because we're the Israelites, man. And Yahweh only knows us. Therefore, he's going to punish us for our iniquities, man. That's what it is. Verse 34, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell the world. So shall thy name nor be found but in Israel. And if you was to weigh every single nation's wickedness, right, surely the Israelites would have to be the most guiltless to a certain degree, because we're the only nation that's ever really tried to keep the laws of Yahweh. There was a 40 years of peace. So we've at least got that 40 years of peacetime that we can say, okay, but we did that part, surely. Surely we would be able to say that if we was to weigh up our wickedness and the heathens, right, that there'd at least be that part, and it'd be prayers of our nation praying towards Yahweh. If you was to go through the history of every single nation, there's going to be times when we've prayed to Yahweh, man. And the thing that's the great equalizer of all of that is Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai is that one person that if every single nation was to say, you know what, find one man from your nation that's righteous, right? Find one man from your nation that's did the things that the creator of the world says you're supposed to do. Just find one. That's all I'm asking. Find one of them. Just one. We're the only nation that would have that. Because we've got Yahweh Shai that came out of our nation. No other nation would have that. No other nation, man. And that's why these people ain't got nothing to say, really, in the grand scheme of things, man, because they are wicked too. If Israelites are wicked, then you people are even worse, because you ain't never kept the commandments. You ain't never did it. Verse 33, and yet the reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit, for I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. That if you ain't thinking on them, you damn sure ain't doing them. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in a balance, and there's that also dwell the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. You ain't gonna find any of these other nations ever praying to Yahweh. That's not gonna happen. Take the Israelites out of the world, and you wouldn't never have seen none of these other nations ever start mentioning about Yahweh. They wouldn't have talked about it, man. And wickedness would have still been in the earth without us existing, man. There would you people, these other nations outside of Israel and outside of even Esau, that want to try and talk about the Israelites and that, they ain't got nothing to say, because when Antiochus Epiphanes was going through the earth, right, forcing everyone to follow after their ways, the only nation at that time that we can read about that wasn't down with it, or had a remnant amount among them that wasn't down with it, were the Israelites. Everybody else was down. And I'm going to read it right now. First Maccabee chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed, according to the commandment of the king. Yea, also many Israelites consented to his religion. So many Israelites consented to, but not all of them. Not all of them. It says all the heathen agreed. All the heathen that was under that king, particular rulership, right, at that time, they all agreed. They was all down with it. So for all these people to talk about the Israelites, this and the Israelites that, they're wicked themselves, man. And they help the Israelites be in the situation that they're in. So they're not guiltless in that fact. They're not guiltless in how we even are the wicked ass 2/3 that we even see that people are still, even we're disgusted with them. But all these heathen that want to be disgusted, they want to try and make out like they don't know how it happened, as if they ain't got no part to play in it, man. And I'm gonna end the lesson there. I more than made the point, man. These heathen ain't got nothing to say about the state of the Israelites because they helped. They all helped the Israelites be like that, man. And if you was to take the Israelites out of the equation, them among their own people are wicked too, and they have never did the things that Yahweh required for a nation to do to be righteous neither. And they don't believe in the Messiah neither, because they don't even call him by his name, and they don't want to accept that Yahushai, the son of Yahweh, was a so-called black man. Whose head and hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if burned in a furnace, man. Shalom.